What's up guys, my name is Spartan, and in today's video I wanted to just kind of do a little 2-year anniversary update because it is my birthday. Not my birthday, but my tower's birthday. We started playing the tower in July 28th of 2024, a little bit over 2 years ago. So yeah, it's currently August 1st as of the time I'm recording this video, and I just wanted to kind of briefly just touch on some stuff similar to what I did last year. Last year, I basically did a 1-year review of playing the tower, and I wanted to do something similar in today's video as well. And if you guys are curious about kind of my journey with finding the tower and when I started playing, feel free to go and check out that video from a year ago where I did my 1-year review of playing the tower. I go a little bit more in detail to that particular story, so I'm not going to do that in today's video. I am going to just kind of talk about how the game has sort of changed over the course of time since recording that video. So we have seen a lot of changes in the towers since this past year. A lot has changed in terms of the actual game itself, new stuff being added, metas changing and shifting. A lot has happened, and I just wanted to briefly kind of touch on that with you guys during this video. When I did the video a year ago, the highest tier you could get to was tier 18. That was the highest tier. Earlier in the past year, we got tiers 19 through 21. And that was a pretty big improvement. A lot of people were happy about that. But then most recently in version 28, we got access to 22 through 24. And with each of these, we obviously had a lot of new things show up. We had new enemies introduced to the tower. We had the fleet enemies, which is super, super cool. These guys really changed up the entire game. The strategy, what is viable, what is not viable. It changed so much about the tower. And if you guys remember, last year, I had just reached the point of basically being able to farm as glass cannon, which was really awesome. I was super, super happy about that. And then 2 weeks after I finally started farming glass cannon, fleets were introduced. And when that initially happened, glass cannon was not as viable initially when you were at the same stage that I was at the time. The new meta at that time shifted away from glass cannon and moved into kind of a hybrid build. So we saw that happen. We also saw a sort of era of EHP being super viable in the later stages of the game. EHP relying on obviously protecting your own tower, but also relying pretty heavily on percentage health damage to kill enemies before they kill you. So we have seen so many different metas happen. When I first started playing this game, smart missiles were basically the best damage ultimate weapon. Next to chain lightning. It was chain lightning and then smart missiles. So a lot of people were building smart missiles. Later on, it kind of pivoted. Smart missiles just started sucking and chain lightning became the gold standard. A little bit later on, we saw all new metas. Like the most recent meta, you guys have seen with the introduction of Amplify Bot plus Echoing Shot, we now have an inner landmine meta where people are building inner landmines as their primary damage source. It's really, really cool. I mentioned this in the video from a year ago, but I still think it is very, very true for this video as well. One of the biggest things that I just love about this game is the sheer level of complexity that it has. This is not your cookie cutter game where everybody builds the best one cookie cutter build and that's how you get good at the tower. Tech Tree Games has really made it a point to make multiple different build types viable, and it's been really cool to see certain things work for some people and then other things work for other people, to the point where there are people competing even in the higher echelons of the game, like where I'm at right now. I'm in the top like 700 of the player base, and I'm seeing people in there with completely different towers than what I have. There are guys that are doing pure EHP and still being competitive with me, which is super, super cool. So I think all in all, how is the overall health of the tower? I think that the tower is honestly as healthy as it's ever been, at least since I've been playing. Perhaps it's been more healthy in the past prior to that, but at least right now, it feels like the tower is in a really good overall state. It feels like the sentiment is pretty good, and it hasn't always been perfect, right? There have been a lot of frustrating variables, tournaments, modules, etc. But Tech Tree Games has really done a lot to kind of improve the sentiment. I think one of the more recent things that occurred during this past year is the introduction of hiring Sam, the community manager. I think that that was a huge, huge play that really did improve the quality of life for a lot of us players. Just kind of having somebody bridge the gap between the player base, all of us, and the devs. helping explain, okay, this is what's happening, this is why, and answering any of our questions, frustrations, or suggestions. So I think that was a huge, huge improvement. Many of you guys can vouch for this, but if you guys have ever DM'd Sam or just talked to them on the Discord or Reddit, Sam is always willing to, if nothing else, pass up the information, right? So like if I say, hey, modules are really annoying and I hate them, can we do anything to fix it, right? There's no guarantees, but at least that concern is being passed up, which in my opinion is huge, because prior to that, it was just, okay, maybe they're listening, maybe they're not, who knows? But now we have somebody kind of batting for us in our corner, which is super, super cool. But some other stuff we have seen introduced to the tower, we saw a lot of new content in this past year. We have seen the introduction of the assist modules, which is really, really cool. I love these. It changes up the sort of strategy quite a bit. Makes a lot of things that ordinarily maybe wouldn't have been viable now viable. Like you can run, instead of, anti-cube portal, you can run space displacer and do an inner landmine build. Or if you're more EHP focused, you can run like shrink ray or whatever EHP guys use. I'm not fully sure on that. But the point is, assist modules have really changed kind of the meta with this, which is really, really cool. Some other stuff that was introduced, we saw the introduction of the bot pluses. Another stone sink, I get it. Also another metal sink. So there's some frustration there, I suppose. But all in all, another way to get cells. Another way to get more coins. We also saw the introduction of BotBot. BotBot used to not exist. There's now a bot whose sole purpose is improving the function and the abilities of your other bots, which is so cool. We also saw a completely new mechanic introduced called Synchronicity. It allows 2 bots at unlock, 2 bots up to all 5 to all follow the same movement pattern. So if you can see my bots, they're both following the same movement pattern. In my opinion, that is super, super cool. Look at that. They're both following the same pattern. So with that, I do kind of want to touch on a couple things really quickly. And this is going to be more kind of just speculation, stuff that I would like to see in the future. And I don't know if Tech Tree Games is going to watch this or not, but if they do, hello, welcome in. Thank you for having me. I would like to see a few things happen with the tower. And I think this would help a lot with the overall sentiment. At least in my case, it will. First and foremost, and this is going to sound like a joke, and it mostly is, but it's also a little bit serious, I would like smart missiles to be good again. Let's make smart missiles great again. They could be the best. They could be the best smart missiles that there are. Let's make them great again. Let's make them deal lots and lots of damage. It's going to be beautiful. The big, beautiful smart missiles. Sorry, that's my terrible Donald Trump impression. Anyway, yeah, smart missile improvement, that would be really, really nice. If we got some kind of rework or change with smart missiles to make them, quite frankly, just viable again, that would be really, really big. And selfishly, that's a big thing I want. Another selfish request that I have is Spartan helmet tower skin. If we could ever get a helmet skin for the tower, I would be willing to bet I will never use another tower skin. If I ever get a Spartan helmet skin, I will never use another skin. At least not on Big Spartan. Those are my 2 selfish requests, but stuff that would be a little bit more applicable to perhaps more of the player base. You guys may have noticed in the past year, we have seen not only a whole bunch of new modules introduced, we saw a ton of new modules. We saw a rework to Ohm Chip. The old Ohm Chip was absolutely garbage, and they changed it, and now it's actually very good. We also saw a whole bunch of new modules from Primordial Collapse, Orbital Augment, Amplifying Strike, Shrink Ray, Sharp Fortitude, Project Funding, Magnetic Hook, and Restorative Bonus. We saw all of these new modules introduced to the tower. We also saw some changes with other modules, like Being Annihilator got a pretty big buff. It's actually pretty good now. Magnetic Hook also got a pretty big buff. I don't know if it's good or not. I'm not using it, but maybe it's good. But the point is, we have had a lot of changes with modules, and not just the physical modules themselves and new modules being introduced, but also the way that we pull modules. We have frequently seen in the past year a whole bunch of different featured banners. Obviously, these are time gated, right? So like these only show up for a period of time and then they go away and we're stuck with the standard banner yet again. But I think the introduction of the featured banners has been super, super cool. We saw featured banners for basically each specific module when it first came out. Like when Project Funding first came out, there was a featured banner just for Project Funding, which basically gave you a 50% chance of pulling a Project Funding if you pull an epic, which is really, really cool. We also saw some more unique sort of banners introduced. We saw specific category banners. We saw the core banner, which allowed you to get a higher percentage of cores. We saw one for armor, cannon, and generators. We also saw just the overall lucky banner, which the lucky banner simply just raised the percentage of pulling an epic from 2.5% to 4%. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but I don't know about you guys. I personally saw a lot of luck with this on both of my accounts. So I think that the featured banners and most of the changes that they have done with modules has been super, super good. I think continuing to build on that would be really, really nice. Some other stuff I would really like to see, I would like to see a rework to the tournament system. This is a bigger picture issue, and I don't know the best way to implement this, but I think 30 people per bracket is pretty rough. It's pretty rough. It leaves a lot to RNG. So if you get a good bracket, you know, you'll have one tournament where you get 2,000 waves and get rank 1, but then you'll have another tournament, the very next one, you get even higher waves and somehow get rank 11. So like, this is a problem to me. This is one of the reasons that tournaments are the most frustrating part of the tower. It just comes down to bracket RNG. So if we could find a way to either increase the total number of people per bracket so that it doesn't seem as RNG dependent, that could be a pretty painless solution, I think. Also just reworking how the reward structure works, right? In particular, the Legends keys. I know there are so many guys that are stuck in the bounce between they'll get promoted to Legends, but they can't stay in Legends and they don't get any keys. So that's really frustrating, especially because a lot of these crucial quality of life features like auto restart run, bot presets, even things like card slots and smart demon mode activation. Like, these are all locked behind keys, and keys are only accessible for, you know, the top like 5,000 players. So it's really rough. I totally get it. If we could find a way to mitigate the frustrations there, and it wouldn't even necessarily need to be an entirely new rework to the system, but if we just started small, right? Start with simple, comparable implementations, kind of like what they did with the introduction of the featured banners. Modules used to be very, very frustrating, and the featured banners, I think, have really changed the sentiment. So adding something similar to that for tournaments would be really, really big. And most importantly, this is a big thing I would love to see introduced to the tower over the next year. I don't know if there's any possibility this could happen, but I think it would be really cool. What if guild content had more of a competitive edge? What if there was, let's say, like a Clash of Clans style guild versus guild PvP, or additional guild related challenges that maybe could lead to stones or even getting keys, something like that. So that way, even if you're brand new to the tower and you just started playing, but you're able to join a guild, you could start getting keys or key fragments if we wanted to do it that way. But there is so much untapped potential with guild content. It is not even funny. It's a great start, and I really love the direction. I just think that we could expand on this and really turn it into something special. But yeah, with that, that's kind of going to wrap up the video, to be honest. I can't really think of anything else I would want to change. All in all, I still love this game. I still love this game as much, if not more, than I did when I first started playing. It has not lost me. Usually if I play a game for a few months, you know, I'll get bored of it and I'll move on to the next thing. But the tower keeps me coming back time and time again. Even on Spartan Jr., my baby account, which you can't really see, but it's in the background here. You can see my mouse going up and down. But Spartan Jr., you know, starting a brand new tower from scratch, it's been nostalgic, it's been rewarding, it's been really, really fun. But yeah, all in all, I think that the tower is in a really healthy state, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I hope you guys are as well. And let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What would you guys like to see introduced to the tower or maybe changed in the next year? Drop a comment and let me know what you guys think or what you guys would like to see. Like I said, there's no guarantees that Tech Tree Games will see the comments of this video, but maybe Sam or somebody will take a peek and just kind of see what you guys are saying. So feel free to drop a comment down below. And likewise, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor and consider subscribing. We're very close to 12,000 subscribers. 12,000. That is an absurd amount of people. So if we could hit that goal, that would be huge. And likewise, if you guys purchase anything for the tower, whether it be in the in-game app or the web store, please consider using my content creator code 300. It directly supports me at no extra cost to you. And with that, that is going to conclude the content of today's video. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. And like always, I will see you guys later.